I moved to LA like so many others to pursue a career in the arts because of the film industry atmosphere. This is the place I ended up. Hey, my name is Benjamin Goglia and I make craft cocktails. I've been in the food and beverage industry as long as I can remember. My first job was probably at a hot dog cart outside Home Depot when I was about 8, 9 years old, and I worked bars, restaurants, all the way through high school, college, afterwards. My parents, my mother's from deep South Louisiana, French Cajun. My father's outside New York, Italian. You know, everything you do is revolved around people eating, drinking, serving, telling stories, you know, about the day, about the past, and keeping those stories alive, you know, and that's what I enjoy most about working in a bar and a restaurant atmosphere. This is the Blue Collar Pub on Fairfax 3rd, little speakeasy bar tucked between the Grove and a residential neighborhood. I was here since the beginning, right as they opened up. I just moved out to LA. They were just starting up and it just kind of worked out. It was a match made in heaven. I came in, I was looking for work. I had just left a job, crazy job, traveling around the world in the music industry, came here. I was looking to find a home and settle down somewhere. The most difficult thing by far has been the last few years during the pandemic when bars and restaurants shut down. And in a profession where you not only are making things for customers, but you're doing it in front of them and you're also conversing with them and interacting with them, that was taken away. It was very hard to continue on, to be inspired to do the craft and continue to create when there was no one there to share it with and get their reaction and their responses. One of the good things that came out of it is we linked up with Chef Lenny Marquez. We opened Roadside Taco June 2021. That area specifically is at the bottom of a residential neighborhood on Ventura across from Universal NBC, and there's really nothing else over there, surprisingly. We really built that whole area out to make it feel like you can step outside right in the city, but be able to walk in and feel like you just went to another planet, like you went to, you know, vacation somewhere exotic. When creating a new drink menu, there's a multitude of things, like telling a story, right? Sometimes you have a character in mind that you want to talk about, or sometimes you have an event that you want to talk about, or a region, place, or an idea. You have to take all those things into consideration. When it comes to writing and film and also bartending and running a restaurant or bar, I suppose a lot of people think that you can only do one or the other, but I find that the two actually go hand in hand and I don't see it going any other way. For me, it's about recreating a memory, something nostalgic, you know. Your smell and your taste is so ingrained in who you are and your fondest memories of, you know, these very pure childlike things that, you know, we can all remember in some capacity or another. To me, whether I consciously or subconsciously realize it, I find each drink to be some form of an amalgamation of past experiences, flavors, things like that, things that can you take a sip of and it transports you to, some island on the beach where you had a vacation or a crazy adventure. I think my approach is unique because I am obsessed with history. I study and learn as much as I can about every cocktail, recipe, location, the history of the service, the ingredients. But I'm also always trying to blend those things together in a world that's so diverse, but can be so connected. I find it so important to be able to bring all of those things together in this medium. However small it may be, it's something that we all partake in, we come to find solace in, and I believe I create this unique experience for people to come and travel and explore while still feeling homey and close with friends and family. Something I realized when supplies became very hard to get, especially ingredients from abroad, simple things like limes and avocados. I realized the importance of starting to grow my own fruits, vegetables, flowers, some purely out of aesthetic purposes, but also many for practical purposes as well. And like all good beverages and meals, we taste first with our eyes, then with our nose, and then with our mouth. And it is important to have both beauty and taste for something to be truly special. Today we will be making a cocktail using some fresh ingredients from the garden. We have wild jasmine, rosemary, pear from the market, cinnamon, homegrown figs, and some fresh lavender from the garden as well. First, we have our homemade syrup. This has cinnamon, figs, and pears sitting in it. We're gonna start off with that. That's our natural sweetener. We're gonna use a little Douglas fir liqueur. We're gonna go with mezcal to give it a little smoke here. We'll get that stirred up. And because of the viscosity, we're gonna serve this on the rocks. And again, aesthetics and smell are key to this drink here. Nice big ice cube to let it dilute slowly. And then, of course, a little green chartreuse. We're gonna let that sit in our rosemary for a little bit. Be a nice smell. Let that get toasty. Light our rosemary up. Let that sit on our drink. We'll cut up one of our fresh figs here. And we'll cut a little bit of our pear. Let's try to keep that nice pear shape. Let that sit right in there. Here we go. Like so many people who come out to Los Angeles and find themselves in the hospitality industry, food, beverage, whether it be waiting, cooking, serving, any sort of that field, I cannot stress enough that I do not think the two are independent of each other. I think they can be one and the same, and both of those things can help the other, whether it be your craft in your serving and how you're interacting with people. Both of those should bleed over into one another. In fact, I think that's cross-disciplinary studies and acts and crafts are where I think the most innovative things come about.